Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 140 of the All in Football Fantasy Premier League show and podcast. I'm your host, the self-proclaimed FPL Guru, or should they call me the Differential King these days, Baz? Alex Rex, and joining me today are my usual suspects of Barry Stokes and the voice of the people, Scott Williams. Barry, where in the world are you today?
Usual Levi. Obviously I've accepted defeat now, so I've got the forfeit. I'm stepping into the ring. I'm doing boxing, raising some money for mental health. So we'll share the link in next one. So yeah, so gonna get beat up like I've been beat up by these pair in FPL season. So might as well do it physically as well, aren't I?
Oh well, that's you're doing it for a great cause, Baz. We'll definitely get that link shared in there, and I think you're going to win. I believe in you, 100%. You won the last one you did, didn't you? White collar.
I did, mate. Yeah,
Yeah,
did.
the man in the lay-by is not to be messed with. Shock. Scott, the man who knows how to play FPL properly, the real voice of the people. How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. I have smashed you both this season, let's be honest.
Well, sick brag.
And I'll be honest, I actually think Baz is going to lose. It's going to sum up
Yeah,
his season.
put odds on.
Yeah, I'm putting it on him. Is it? The rumors are it's an American coming across the pond to fight you, and it's
Yeah.
it's a
Is
friend of the
that Guy
pod.
Ferguson? Is he coming across?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Guy, we've got hopefully some special guests coming on the pod at some point if tech works, to a very special differential draft. Is that right, Barry? They're coming on
It
to.
is, yeah, yeah. Looks like they're all coming on. Phil's trying his best, so I might have to step in for him. Judith can't make it, so Scott's stepping in for his mum. So yeah, so we'll see how that
Yeah, there's a
goes.
few. I've got the list through. I will be ignoring the fact that Jamie Vardy's on there, and he's not playing anymore, Mum.
Judith's too busy on her holidays, loving the fact that Scunny got promoted. Scott,
We
congratulations.
did, we did. It's been a tough few seasons, tough few years, really. But a fantastic few weeks for the town. Steelworks getting saved, more jobs being, been advertised and made available, and then yeah, our team getting promoted. It was a great day on Sunday there. Me and my mum, and yeah, my mum's now a season ticket holder, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, one step closer to the football league again, but I'm quite happy next season if we just consolidate mid-table and go from there.
Absolutely, just no relegation next year. Absolutely, everything crossed for you to just stay in the league. But you never know. In those leagues, anything can happen, can't they? So, fingers crossed, you might be pushing towards the top. That would be nice. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining us. Last game week preview show of the season. We'll have obviously our infamous league wrap up. With special guests on in the next couple of weeks, so there's a couple of people that definitely need to keep their diaries clear. There's a three-way fight at the top of the league. So who knows who's going to win that? We'll have a look at that in a minute. We've got a cup final to preview, and we have our top performing woman again. And I think Heather is a veteran now of the podcast, so I'll reach out to her and see if she's available as well to teach us all how to actually play FPL. Funnily enough, if she'd bothered playing our money league this year, Scott, she'd be winning it, and she'd be beating all of us at.
Yeah, but maybe that's the thing though, because maybe she's relaxed, she's got no money in the line, she's maybe been a bit looser with her decisions. Um, but yeah, her we've got Jeff Belcher as well. He'd be winning the money league just to rub that in if he's listening. But let's be honest, I've just got to beat Jack.
Absolutely. We're going to do a little bit of a conversation about how to what to do next in terms of mini leagues and how to handle these situations and how to look at them as well, just in a bit. So, don't forget to like the video, follow us on our social media platforms as well: Oliver Pod, Oliver P, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Like the video on YouTube, follow our channel, subscribe, and then also give us 5 stars wherever you get your podcasts from. Game Week 37's Manager of the Week. So let's do this to start with. We've got Gokul Dad Hania, that's it. Dad Hania. We've got 77 points with a bench boost played here. Alison Guardiol, Calvin Bassey, don't see him in many teams. Munoz, Bowen and Bowen captain, and Bumo, Salah, Barnes, Gibbs White, Wood, Strand Larson, and Stalarchik, Colwell, and Mikolenko getting points off the bench. Isak, yeah, getting zero, obviously. failing there to appear. So yeah, 77 points with the bench boost played there for you, Gockle. So congratulations. 77 points also for former champion, the first season champion, Adrian Chippendale. With the greatest of all time team, the GOAT. Again, bench boost played. Pickford, Mikalenko, Kukurea, Aina, Rogers, Elanga, Palmer, and Bumo. Bowen, Visser, Wood, Flecken, Isak again, Guardiola and Livramento. A 6 point bench boost there for you, Adrian. It's not the greatest in the world, but 77 points this week. And then final shout out has to go to Dalibor Drillo, who has won another Manager of the Week award. He's got the best score without scoring, without using any chips, with 75. Sanchez, Guardiola, Mikalenko, Kukurea, Jacob Murphy, Alanga Salah, Rogers captain, and Bumo, Visser, and Marmouche with his screamer. Sanchez came in for Ortega, who he started, and Murphy came in for Isak. So congratulations to you guys. Let's have a look at this league. 6 points separate the top three. Ali Farrell is 4 points clear and this close to going back to back. For 2,536 points. Gavin Webb, 2,532 points. And everyone's least favourite team, FPL Hardcores, 2 points further back. So there's 6 points in it. Baz, how are you feeling?
Don't know. I'm going to thank the admins because obviously the other FPL FA admins are probably doing majority of the work because if they listen to my advice, they'd be nowhere near it. So fair play to them. Got hats off to them. So yeah, so we've had some rogue decisions by some members of the team, probably me as well, being the differential king. But we've had some solid picks. So yeah, we've had a pick a player each and then had a vote on who's going to go in and who's our captain and so on. So yeah, it's worked out quite well. It's like our new version of AI.
Yeah, I like that. That's for it. Yes, interesting. Yeah, Ali top. Gav bringing back 14 points on him this week, which was huge. I know the Ali Farrell's. I think Glasner was his assistant manager, didn't pay off. But yeah, Gav there, 14 points back. I mean, it's so close. It literally is.
He had
Potter.
Potter.
Potter, that was it.
Also, Ali Farrell would be having a bit more of a gap if it wasn't for that Ruben Diaz mistake. That cost him a double clean sheet. That's gonna hurt.
It also cost him, I think, as far as I'm
Well,
aware, the cup.
yeah,
So we're going to get into that. That one mistake and that last minute pointless, whoever scored it for Bournemouth goal really has,
Emerson.
was it Jebison, has really cost him there. But to round up the league, I'll say Heather Howcroft there in fourth. A little bit too far back to be looking at winning the league, 38 points clear. But 10 points clear of Mick Shannon, Jack Howcroft in sixth, Kieran Ball, Crystal Balls in seventh, Jeff Belcher in eighth, Sam Danby Bailey in ninth. And you're still there, Scotty. That
Still there.
top 10 finish. You're 4 points clear of Matt Gillette from FPL Affairs. And then Martin Will, obviously 2 points further back. Sam Kimoni, 20 points further back. So basically, for that top 10, you're probably looking at between Martin, Matt, and Scott. And I'd put Sam in there as well. There's probably enough people behind him, but it is pretty close. I mean, you've got what from Martin up to in 12th, up to Kieran in 7th. What have you got there? 17 points. That top ten's close, isn't it? Very close.
Yeah, but very competitive.
Yeah, I'm going to show the respect to the guys at the top and not look at their teams and start analysing those because I know that they've got they'll be making decisions themselves in terms of who they're going to be against.
I just had a quick look, and all I would say is that, and it's probably pretty obvious, this is going to be one player that wins them it because it goes without saying all the teams are so similar. I've just had a look at the three teams. It's just going to be who's going to have a random player that scores 2 goals and gets an assist on Sunday.
Yeah, we've got there's a certain player as well that a lot of us have got, which I mean it's just Isak. He's somebody we need to discuss anyway on the podcast. You know, if he's fit or not is going to hella dictate a lot of people's transfers, aren't they? You know, I mean, no one's transferring him out if they've got him and he's fit to play Everton at home when they're going for Champions League, are they? But if he is injured, there's a lot of money to play with there, and there's -4s and stuff that could happen. So, but let's have a look at the cup final. We've got David Byrne versus Jeff Belcher. So we've got a very competitive cup final here as well. David Byrne's going for Manager of the Month at the moment. He's top of that league, and then Jeff Belcher as well, who's FPL experienced man. That last minute last minute goal cost Ali Farrell. He lost 51 to 56 in the semi final, and David Byrne won 74 to 65 over the FPL hardcore. So no shot at the double this season. Like I think was it Richard Kirk last season had that opportunity, and unfortunately he lost in the final. He came second in the league, but it was which wasn't the best last day for him. But yes, get your suits on, lads. Trip to Wembley coming for David Byrne and Jeff Belcher. Last day of the season, interesting. Um, all depends on what you've got to play for. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but what I would be doing if I was sat in the shoes of somebody who's looking to try and maybe catch up in the mini league, or potentially defend a lead is a couple of simple tips. Try and guess what the other person's going to do, and then act accordingly. So if you've got a bigger gap to catch up, then maybe go for something a little bit more differential. And if you've got a medium-sized gap to defend, it's probably better to go a little bit more conservative. And yeah, minus fours maybe to cover off other people's potential captaincy options if they are relatively obvious. Baz, any tips for last day of the season? Have you had to think about it? Anything you wanted to add in there? Again, I don't want to go into too much detail.
Just don't go too rogue. Just do what you've been doing. You've been consistent all the way through the season. Unless obviously you're like me in the dizzy heights and you want to obviously improve your rank or whatever your target is, and you think you can achieve it by going rogue and beating people, then do it. But if you're near the top, I would stick to your basic basis of you've got your same players that we just talked about there. Stick with them, stick a reliable captain in, and just let it ride, and the fate will be with you.
Mm. No, I agree, and obviously Scott's got a nice battle coming up hopefully on the final day. So looking forward to seeing how that one pans out. We're having a few beers on Sunday, Scott. Really looking forward to seeing if you can win that money league and get top 10 in the in the group. And I've got a big sweat on in our draft league, head to head with Martin. 22 points in it, but obviously we've both got completely different teams because everyone has different players in draft. So anything can happen going into the to the last day. So very excited for that. Let's look at the fixtures. Shall we? Let's do this. Let me get
Well, I've got a cup final. Me and Callum are in the Fun for It League. We're in the cup
Oh,
final.
oh, that
Oh, bless you.
that's
Come
sweet,
on,
isn't
see if I can win.
it? That's sweet, isn't it? I like that. And good luck to Callum in that one. So,
Oh, cheers.
no, you know, he's like, to be fair, he'll probably brag about that one if he does win. I don't blame him either. Um, Starting off by looking at who's got something to play for. I think that's really important when you're looking at the teams in the final game of the season. So Arsenal have locked up second basically on goal difference. Obviously nailed on for Champions League. So Liverpool and Arsenal don't have anything to play for, even though Arsenal probably have one of the best fixtures against Southampton. We have got one of the tightest races possible for the Champions League going into the last day of the season, which is very exciting. Man City on 68, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Aston Villa all on 66, and Nottingham Forest on 65. So these guys obviously have the most to play for. Chelsea and Nottingham Forest play each other as well, just for the added jeopardy. There is still a chance. There is still a chance that eighth could qualify for Europe. So there is Brighton and Brentford do have something to play for still, even if they don't know it yet, because Chelsea have to win the Europa Conference League final for that to be a possibility. And the other thing that has to happen is Chelsea have to come seventh.
You have to get
So,
Europa League, I think.
you what? Sorry.
I think they have to get Europa League, I think.
I think that the permutations are, from what I understand, is Chelsea, um, yeah, but if Chelsea win the Conference League and come seventh,
Yeah.
or Chelsea finish sixth and Newcastle finish seventh. And obviously both times they have to win Europa Conference League. So there's a chance they come seventh without a doubt. Look, at the end of the day, if Forest beat them, Villa are gonna get a result against Man United. So that'll put Chelsea. If Chelsea lose that game to Forest, basically, I think they'll come seventh. So there is still something to play for, and Forest are at home. So it is still all to play for Brighton and Brentford, who have the Europa League champions, Spurs, great, and Brentford as well are playing Wolves. So yeah, so let's look at the fixtures, and we'll start off with the ones where people have got something to play for. Bournemouth, Leicester, no. Fulham, Man City. Let's start here, Baz. Man City have got something to play for as a team. Talk about some of the Man City assets that you would consider bringing into your team, or at least keeping into your team this week.
Well, I think most people got the template strike force that we did have in the past, and we've got some of them still available. So, like Mamouche and Mateta and Isaac was the template one in the past, but obviously quite a lot of few people went off Mateta. Some people may got rid of Mamouche, but obviously might be changing their minds after he scored that rocket of a goal. Um, Guardiola will probably be a good option as well. He's playing left back, getting more attacking. So that's one on that. Obviously, De Bruyne's last game. I think he's going to start again. Haaland, he's got the movement, but just needs that ball a bit quicker. It came a few times to him a bit quicker than by De Bruyne. But he still looks quite blunt in front of goal. Sometimes he was going for the high kicks instead of the simple tapping with the head. So I think it's a bit of a difficult one because they rotate the wingers quite a lot, and it's who to pick out of them. So I think the three that I've just mentioned, De Bruyne, maybe a Haaland or a Mamouche, but I think most people's probably got a Mamouche, and I'd stay with that. And Guardiola, I think they're the only ones really I'll be going for.
One of the key questions to ask Scott. In fact, I'll start with this one first about Man City. When I look at a lot of teams, De Bruyne, Fulham away, hold or sell, and does it depend on if you can afford maybe Saka without a -4? So hold or sell on De Bruyne, and are there any permutations on why?
Well, yeah, I mean, it depends who I guess you're looking to come in. I mean, I certainly won't be getting Saka in, even though they've got a great fixture. I don't know what's happened to it. I think his twins come back from injury because he's been pretty awful, hasn't he, since he's been back. So if we're having this conversation 3 months ago, when De Bruyne was on his bad spell and Saka was flamed, it's a no-brainer. But De Bruyne, I watched the game on Tuesday. He looked on it. Everything went through him. He was pinging crosses in. Let's be honest, he's whipped out the miss of the season. Where
Big
he's smashed
bobble,
the
big
bar.
bobble, big bobble. To be fair to him,
Yeah, he's also on like 300 grand a week. So I couldn't give a crap if it was a crater underneath him. Put that in the goal, son. I was happy he did. Jack's got Mamouche and De Bruyne, so it would have been a horrendous goal for me. But he does look on it, so I would be keeping him. I would have thought he's still very much a differential, 13% owned. So I'd say he's still a differential at this point. No one else is jumping out at me as someone you would need to get in, if I'm honest. So it would be a hold for me.
yeah, I agree. They're all keeps. Marmoush, De Bruyne, I completely agree. Um, the defensive thing that people seem to have a real issue with is Guardiola. Like he's in a lot of teams, but there are a lot of people that have, for example, like a concert, maybe a Kivior or someone along those lines. Um, is he a definite starter, Baz, for you in your FPL team? Obviously, he's going to be starting for the City. I'd have thought. You know, would you prioritize him over a lot of the other defenders?
Well,
Or
I'm a Digne owner, and he's a rotation risk. So I
that's
think he's going to start
yeah,
over that reason.
yeah,
Just hopefully he's going to be playing left back because obviously he gets more forward and gets into the central areas and gets into the box. Whereas on centre half, he just stays there. He doesn't wander forward. So you're just getting a clean sheet if you're lucky, and maybe bonus points like Ruben Diaz has been getting recently, but definitely didn't get any at the last week. So
yeah.
yeah, it's a tough one on that. You've got to look at your defenders and go, right, what am I going to get? Because clean sheet wise, as I mentioned, the hard's come by. Man City's I think they had back-to-back clean sheets prior to to that and was on for another one until Ruben Diaz made that mistake. So you maybe get defensive. Fulham might be on the beach and play a few string players, but it's the last home game, so it's a tricky one on that. And I think he's probably going to start for me because of Digne's rotation risk.
I think for myself, I look at all of those players. I think Guardiola, De Bruyne, and Marmoush are the three most owned. I think they're all holds, and I think none of them are buys. I think that's the way I look at it in a simple form. Next next team, unless anyone got anything more to add on City, is Villa, who have got something to play for there away at the Manchester United, who have had one of the the worst seasons since I've been alive. Um, where are we where are we looking for Villa? I'll start because I genuinely don't know what Man United are going to turn up for this one. I think if we'd have won the Europa League, it would have been a bit different. I think we'd have definitely got rolled over in this. I feel like because we're at home, there might be a bit of resistance. I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. But I feel like we might score a goal in the game. It's just yeah, it feels an odd. But I think we'll go strong in terms of a lineup as well. So I personally won't be looking at any Villa defenders to invest in. But again, I think a Watkins and a Rodgers are obvious holds and starts. I suppose the question I've got to you both is Watkins, in your opinion, still a buy if Isak is injured, Scott?
Um, yeah, I mean, I know you said you think Man United will score. I was with you watching the game last night, and you didn't seem that pissed. Um,
They parked the bus for 45 minutes. Leave it
yeah,
alone.
they looked pretty god awful last night, I must say. Didn't say this to your face because you was quite upset, but they were pretty poor. Um, I think Watkins probably is a bring in. He's got he's got he's got very decent points. You take sort of the average over the last few game weeks. He looks on it. Is it going to be his last game for Villa? Maybe. So you probably want to be going out sort of with a bang. We've said this about Isaac already last few weeks, regardless of his fit or not. He's not looked that good. Like he's out of form. He is struggling a little bit. However, obviously at home to Everton, you still want Isaac in over Watkins. But yeah, I would if Isaac's a doubt, I'm an R in. I think Watkins absolutely can bring in. And let's be honest, I know we joke about it. Man United are fifth bottom. It's a pretty nice fixture, isn't it? Like, regardless if it's at Old Trafford or not. I agree. You'd hope you see some bite and some fight. I can see Villa going 1-0 and the crowd turning, if I'm honest. And I know United's crowd usually very good, very loyal, but I can see that home crowd potentially turning. Away, bit different. They just seem to cheer them on. But I can see a few murmurings going on there. You also said about Villa's defence and that the Villa's, I didn't. I mean, I do realise because Cons has annoyed me a lot in the last few weeks. But they keep a hell of a lot of clean sheets at the minute. I think in the last like 5 or 6 away games, they've only conceded twice.
Three
They've
clean
kept
sheets in a row, yeah.
3 clean sheets in a row. Really, really good. And with Conzi, you've got that attacking player. So I think if you've got a couple of free transfers, do you know what? I'm maybe looking at a Conzi, because he does look a real threat.
Yeah, and you're probably right. I'm probably living in a dream world that we score, considering last night.
Still loyal to the cause.
Do you know what it is? I feel like that there'll be a little bit. I feel like there will be a little bit of bite. I don't think we ever win the game. Look at Villa's form in particular as well. They've absolutely smashed it. They've won every single game bar Man City away since game week 28. So they're gonna win. Um, but that was actually, I suppose that was the question I was looking at a lot of teams for. A lot of people have Conser and Guardiola. So I'll ask the direct question to both of you. Between the two of them, who do you start?
Conser.
Same concert.
Yeah, three clean sheets in a row nearly for both of the teams. I think that's a really genuinely tough decision. Um,
Even though Fulham have scored less goals than I thought they had, they're coming off a really good win against Brentford. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they'll score.
Yeah, yeah, fair play. Yeah. So we'll move on from Villa at that point. But yeah, you're obviously starting those guys if you have them. Newcastle are at home against Everton. So Everton have had their big last hurrah and a big party at Goodison. Newcastle are going for Champions League. I feel this should be a good game for Newcastle on paper. Um, where are we going then? Isak's out of form. Does it feel like the guys behind him are a bit out of form, considering looking at the players that are in form on here? They're all defenders and Tonali. Bruno Guimaraes is in there as well. Obviously, they just lost to Arsenal. The form's tiny bit more hit and miss. Do we ignore them as assets? Some people have got Murphy. Do we sell him? Do we keep him? What do you want to do, Baz?
I think the change of formation hasn't suited them. They're playing with wing backs now, aren't they? Murphy's been playing as a wing back. So for me, because he's playing in that wing back role, yes, he still gets forward, but he's losing that attacking impetus that he had before. So it's maybe getting rid of it and go for a potential Aston Villa play. If you haven't got Rodgers, it's an easy move. Or even a potential Brighton asset as well, because they've still got something to play for and they're playing Spurs. So that could be a potential option. But I was quite fortunate. I transferred Isak out anyway for Watkins. So I didn't own Isak as well. So obviously, as we talked about, his off ball and the change of formation. They've looked more solid at the back. So defensively, yeah, great. But in the last game week, you don't really want doing a defensive transfer. You want to be trying to attack in these game weeks with having a midfielder or an attacker. So yeah, for me, it's very difficult to pick because they're not really in form, and Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes don't really excite me. So yeah, so if you've got them, hold. But oh, it's a nice fixture to have, Everton, but I don't really see anyone to really pick from.
Scott, is it quite simply put, hold if you've got them, but don't buy? Or would you even maybe look at one of them as a defender? What do you think?
Um, yeah, I agree with Baz. I don't really want to be punting on defenders. Sort of last game of the season. I think maybe look, you can have up to 5 free transfers this season. If you've got 3 or above, yeah, why not get a defender in? Absolutely, but yeah, I mean, I think Isaac, you still want him. You still want him in. Let's be honest, unless Eddie Howe goes, he's not playing. He's 75%. He's in and ahhing. We've still got till Sunday. I think people are going to hold him. To be honest with you, but yeah, no one else is really jumping out. I would maybe get rid of Jacob Murphy, just because of Bastos there. He's playing a slightly different position, and there is some good sort of different midfield assets out there. So yeah, I would probably keep Isaac and get rid of Murphy if you wanted, but again, not the biggest sort of
So,
mistake in the world.
so question on that one, Scott. You've got, let's say, a lot of the template midfields are Mbumo, Bowen, Salah, Murphy, and Eze. There's quite a lot of midfields out there that are very similar to that. Eze's got Liverpool away. Murphy's got Everton at home. You've got one free transfer. You're going to transfer one of those two players out. Which one is it going to be? Eze or Murphy?
Good question, that, you know. That's a tricky one, isn't it? Because Liverpool haven't been exactly great, have they? Since the one that would just
Well,
been
not
in
one
the
of the
beef
last
from they
three.
getting drunk.
Yeah, not one of the last three, are they?
Uh,
They're in party time.
and then I was going to say like Palace probably, but then they won didn't they 4-2 against Wolves. So and Eze's on good form. Obviously, he was rested, came on for 5 minutes and scored. Cheers, Eze. I really did appreciate that. It's such a tough question, that one. I think me. I'm a home haul. I'd probably keep Murphy.
It's sort of home and fixture.
You think Liverpool are going to want to end the season in front of the fan? Is there Liverpool at home?
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're going to want to finish the season with the fans and a big bang out there. Let's be honest.
that's the. So Scott's gone fixture over form, which is fair. But Baz,
I'm going for form. I thought it was just an easy option. I went straight away. My head was like, it's an easy one. Eze, he's been unbelievable.
and
He even came on and scored for 5 minutes. Yes, it's against Liverpool, but Liverpool's been on beach. They've been at IB for partying it up, raving. the best player last week was Harvey Elliott, and we know Cully doesn't rate him, so he must not be that good. So yeah, so for me, I think I'd definitely have Eze over Murphy because the wing back situation he's playing. So yeah, for me, Eze all day long.
And Murphy has still got
By
three assists in
by
his
the
last
way,
five, though.
I will just say as well, Liverpool. It does feel like they've been on an horrendous run, and then I've just had to check myself. They lost against Chelsea away. Chelsea out bad. They drew at home to Arsenal, the team that's going to finish second in the league, and they lost a 5 goal thriller away at Brighton, who we know are decent and going for Europe. So it's
I
one of those,
think
isn't
it's
it?
the collapse against Arsenal that is the most shocking part of that. I think that was why we like
I think
questioned our decision.
Arsenal might have just wanted it a bit more, and because they've got a bit of an edge, so it's kind of one of those situations, isn't it? Really, I feel like that Liverpool Palace game is going to be the one that I actually want to watch on the last day. It's on Sky. I think that could be an absolute
Don't
banger.
want to watch your own team then, no?
What? Not scoring get beat out by Villa?
Oh, you've come back. You now sobered up, have you?
Oh, don't, don't. It's just just horrendous. Just feels so bad today. Not the 5 pints of Guinness I had yesterday, as well, but there you go. Numb the pain, didn't it? Um, yeah, I think it's interesting. Yeah, yeah, it's going to be. I think it's a really tricky decision. I think I probably would transfer out Murphy and keep Eze because I think that game could be anything. But I think it's a really close call, Baz. To be honest, that's why I asked the question. I think that we've got two different opinions on out of three people that are quite keen on it here. So
Yeah, it is. I just thought it was just a no-brainer for me, but that's me not thinking, right, well, he's in form. I've been stung by that before with Wissa, for example. So,
yes,
yeah, I could I obviously probably will be wrong because obviously that's why I've been all this season, hence why I'm in the dizzy heights of, I think, 30th or something like that in our league. So, I'm compared to, well, at least I'm in triple figures, I suppose. Well,
it's
not
not
triple figures,
it's
but
not so bad. Second half of the season's been around it. Forest Chelsea. I think we just ignore that game because I think it's going to be tight and it's going to be cagey.
yeah.
Um, I can't imagine anyone's buying anyone out of those two teams before that game, or starting anyone out of those two teams really, unless they've got someone. If you've got a Palmer, you're playing him out. You know what I mean? It's just one of those.
It
Uh,
is, yeah, but I think Gibbs White needs a shout out, really, to be honest. I know he'll appreciate it.
Al
But
Morgan.
he was quality, and as you know, you picked him in the differential draft. So, yeah, everything came through him. But similar to what Scott was saying about he was that player who came through everyone, but De Bruyne, it was a bit similar to that situation, Gibbs White. But obviously, he's linked with Man City as well. So. Yeah, it's a very interesting one, but I wouldn't be getting any players. But I thought Gibbs White was really good in the last Forest game.
I want to touch on a couple of these fixtures now, where there's, yeah, I mean, obviously Brighton have got Spurs. I think it's which is could potentially matter for them. Interesting players to pick out here, Baz, and I'm going to come to you because there's absolutely, there's a couple of differentials in that Brighton team, isn't there?
There's a lot, to be honest.
got,
Um,
got to be excited about a couple of the midfielders, I think, can you?
yeah, it's difficult because Matoma's back and he came on and scored, so he's only 6.1% owned when I last checked. So he'd be a very good option for people. I was really impressed with Judith's pick as well, Regruda. He really did. It surprised me, to be honest. He wasn't even on my list of players because I didn't want to target against Liverpool. But him and Welbeck linked up pretty well. Obviously the only problem is João Pedro's back now, so is he going to potentially start? But yeah, he was a great option to have Gruder at 0%, so that's a massive differential there. Um, and they're looking more solid at the back. I know they conceded two, but they've got rid of Dunk. He's not really playing as much. So Van Ecker and Webster are creating a partnership, but you don't really want to be targeting the defence as we mentioned. So
Mhm.
and Spursy are Spursy, aren't they? So can't say that anymore. Sorry, can't say that.
Ah,
Manu and Manu.
yes,
Saying
we
now.
we were very Spursy last night.
Yeah,
Um, and yeah, you keep your Brentford assets and you start them, but you don't buy anyone. Probably, I'd have thought there's probably other options, and I think that's a simple way of putting it. Um, Bournemouth, Leicester, and then Arsenal, Southampton. are two fixtures and want to just spend a minute on each because they're obviously the worst two teams in the league playing second in the league and a Bournemouth side that are playing at home and are quite free flowing. Um, and what do you think, Bournemouth wise? Semenya, you've got obviously Kirkez in there as well as two shout outs. I think the main player that everyone would be considering bringing in this week as a cheaper striker, if they are looking at moving playing around, is Evan Nielsen. Baz, do you think we go there with an Evan Nielsen if you are looking to try and move funds around if Isak's injured to bring in a more
Well,
expensive player elsewhere?
my D front team, so I'm a differential team. I did have Vardy, so obviously we know he's not going to be playing, so he's transferred out, and Evan Nilsson's come in, and so yeah. So for me, if you need a striker option and you haven't got the money for anyone else, I think he's the one to go to. The only fear is it's the last game. He might obviously rotate it to try obviously other people and see obviously how his whole team is, and obviously plan for next season. So that could be a one of them. But who else plays centre forward for him? Is he going to start Jefferson over Evan Nielsen? It's a big gamble, and I don't think that's going to happen. So yeah, I think Evan Nielsen is a great shout to have.
Yeah, the other player obviously to throw in there is probably Cliver as a shout. The question on Arsenal, Scott, I want to ask you about is obviously Saka's a very expensive option across that front line that I'm not super keen on. Havertz is back fit. Moreno's back available, which maybe puts a question mark over Trossard starting in the team or Martinelli if Trossard moves to the left. Ødegaard's shown good form in terms of popping in his assists anyway in the last few games. Where do you invest across that front three between maybe Ødegaard, Martinelli, and Trossard? I think are the main ones that people are looking at. Obviously, Ødegaard assisted in five of his last five. So, what do you think?
Yeah, Ødegaard's obviously the one is on the best form at the minute. But 8.2 million. If you've probably got the money in the bank, that would be the one that the one that excites me when I watch him the most is Trossard. He gets himself into some really good positions. He's a bit of a threat, like a bit of an aerial threat, which is strange because he's small. But he's kind of got that sort of in the back pocket as well. He's not got unbelievable figures, but we know he can. He's got a high ceiling as well.
Hmm.
So for me, the one that would jump out would be Trossard, just because sort of more the eye test than anything else. He's probably a bit more gambling than Odegaard. Like you say, you'd probably expect Odegaard to get an assist against Southampton at least. So you're probably looking maybe 6 to 8 points. Whereas I think Trossard's the one that would be more likely to get between 8 and maybe like 12, 13, 14 points.
Yeah.
So that would be the one for me. I think they start. I think Havertz. I mean, they're absolute idiots if they rush Havertz back with nothing left to play for. So I think he still starts him, and usually Trossard's good for sort of 80 minutes plus, which is what you want as well. So yeah, for me, it would be Trossard.
Same list them out. So would you go Trossard, Ødegaard, Martinelli in terms of the order of the three? Is that what you would go, or would you punt on Martinelli?
I'd go Trossard, Odegaard, Martinelli.
Baz, your view on that?
I've liked the look of Martinelli, to be honest. I think he was one of the players that I'm looking at. I'm a Moreno owner, and I'm like, actually, I'm going to get rid of him because he's either going to play in a deeper role. I don't think he's going to play as a number nine no more. And it's what other player I'm going to potentially get. So with that, it's like Martinelli is my favourite out of them. Then it's probably Odegaard for the reason he assists quite a lot. Doesn't really get on the score sheet a lot, but my fear is he's going to be the assister that assists the assister, if you know what I mean. So, and Trossard, I think he might get dropped. I know, obviously, Scott mentioned about Havertz, obviously, not starting, but the fear is Trossard might come off after 60 minutes and then Havertz comes off. And if he doesn't do anything in that 60 minutes, then it's a bit of a struggle. So for me, I think that's why I would pick Martinelli above the other two.
Interesting. We have been joined. We have been joined. No, I'm not, Guy. You've killed me here. Oh, he's yeah, you've had me. Yes, yes, 0 years. Still only 1 year for us though. We're fine. I'm okay.
They let London down.
How are you feeling after last night?
The air is crisper, the sun is brighter, the pint is colder. I am a very happy person right now, I got to tell you.
Yeah. Congratulations, and I'm really glad that our player could handball the ball into the net for you to win 1-0.
Well, that's what happens when they get in front of Onana, and those statues. Those are difficult to get mobile. I've visited a lot of statues and museums, and they don't really keep the line well. So
No, they really don't. And Dorgu, I don't know what he was doing. He was half asleep at the back post. Anyway, let's congratulations, well done, Spurs. I'm very happy. And on a side, I am very happy for Ange because I think he has been treated pretty poorly by the press in general, and I love the fact that he can stick two fingers up to, especially that journalist that called him potentially a clown. And I really,
yeah,
I like he bit back at that. The media are one of my least favourite things in the world.
yeah.
And I love the way he bit back so Walden times. Chris, welcome to the
Oh,
podcast. How are you?
thank you very much. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, I'm all right. We're doing all right. I'm doing all right. Are you excited for picking the differential draft for this special?
Yeah. Yeah, should be good.
Yeah. Barry, so are you going to represent Phil then? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm going to represent Phil. He's throwing the towel. He's thinking, well, he's bottled it, and he's done it at Man United. Sorry. So yeah,
Unbelievable.
yeah, I'll be representing Phil, and obviously Scott's representing Judith. So yeah,
So Phil,
I was looking forward to meeting Judith. I was really looking forward to that.
Ah, she was looking forward to meeting you as well, Guy. But yeah, she's holidaying in the lakes with my dad, so she's probably on the end of a 15-mile walk or something at the minute.
There you go.
well, I've got up the graphics you did, Barry. I'm trying my best to make them so everyone can actually see them. So our favourite Williams, Judith, there you'll be representing Scott, and then Guy from over the pond. Hope you like that one, Guy.
I love that one. I love that.
A good one. There you are. And then Chris, are you ready for yours? I don't know
Well,
if
unless it's changed, I've seen it. I've seen a sneak preview.
I mean it was taken on a Nokia 3310 by the looks of it.
yeah.
That probably means it looks better than I do in real life, so that's fine.
Oh, don't be like that. Don't be like that. I think we've got a very good looking podcast here, except for that horrible Spurs scarf. Anyway,
At least we didn't have a picture of Chris Brown since I recorded Chris Brown for about 4 weeks.
everyone getting the names wrong is always a good part of the podcast. Right, Baz, how do we decide who goes first?
So I've done it by obviously who's won the most throughout the season. So unfortunately for Guy, you didn't win this
Last.
one. So you was last. You won 6 out of the 37. Then it's Phil who won 8. Then Judith who's won 9, and then the Alpha Wolf all on his own 13. You can't get beaten. Chris is the last pick. So yeah, that's the way it's going. So it's going Guy first, then Phil, then Judith, then Chris.
Nice, brilliant. Okay, so Guy, over to you with your first pick. Barry, are you writing these down? Yeah.
No, I'm picking Phil, so you write them down. If that's
Of course, I'll write.
You write them down.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, so it's good because I'm stressing trying to get the right one. I don't want to mess with the egg chaser Phil Allen, do I? So yeah, it's one of them.
There's a story there somewhere. I don't know if it's for the podcast or not, to be honest. Guy, over to you.
All right. So we're going with keeper. Arrizabalaga for Bournemouth against Leicester, 3.3%.
Like it, Kepper, 3.3%. Who was next, Baz? Sorry, I've already forgotten.
It's
It was you or Jude?
as well. It's Phil, I think. Yeah, Phil. So I'm picking who I've just been banging on about. I'm going to pick Martinelli as his pick at 2.9.
Martinelli at 2.9%. Over to Judith.
Yeah. I have got a big list of players here. Evan Nielsen, under 5, it says here, 4.5%.
Seriously.
Yeah, you've got a tough job going fourth here, Chris. I can't lie to you, mate.
Chris,
Are
isn't
you
it?
kidding me? That was my first pick. Gone. That's messed things up. Sorry, I'm just looking through notes and trying to figure out what I now want to do with
Oh,
that lot.
it's really tough, isn't it, when it's live? I know everyone
I
laughs at
am gonna
me, but
go with Antoine Semenyo at 7.2%.
I like it. I like it. 7.2%. And back to you, Guy.
We are going to go with Gibbs White,
Oh,
7.1%.
7.1%. Barry just gave him a shout out before you joined the podcast in terms of a pick to look out for this
Nice.
week as well in that game, must-win game against Chelsea. Um, right, Phil slash Barry slash Egg.
Yeah, Phil is going to pick Ben White at 2.7%.
Ben White, 2.7%. Phil is an Arsenal fan so far this week. Guy, you feel free to boo if you want to.
No, 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 no. I'm
It's actually
I'm
a Notts Forest fan, to
perfectly
be honest.
fine. It's nothing but love. Nothing but love from
Nothing
across
but
the
love.
pond.
You could tell you won the trophy last night. Nothing but love. Like this. Uh, Judith.
let's go for Kevin Schade. It's 3.4%.
Shadow at 3.4. And Chris.
Have I got percentages written down, please? Yes, Jakub Kiwior at 2.7.
You're at 2.7%. Couple of great picks there. They were high on my list as well, Chris, and you've gone fourth and you still got them, so that's very good, isn't it? Guy, over to you.
Suchek, 1.4% against Ipswich.
Oh, yeah. Was he 1.4%, did you say there, Guy?
Yes, indeed.
Brilliant. Great form. Playing in the number 10, it feels like, at the moment. Suchek. He's getting right up there. Phil?
He's going for his goalkeeper. He's going for Areola at 7%.
Oriola at 7%. I'm sure Phil will really appreciate using the over 5 on a goalkeeper. Is what it is. Is what it is. Judith.
I probably this person's definitely gone, I think. Kivior.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, all right. She's not giving me a big list here. God, I'm not going for that one.
Pick Gruber again.
Why is she giving me this person? He hasn't played in weeks, has he? Oh wait, very incorrect there. Do you know what? Take that all back. But Ben White's back from the dead, is he? Ben White.
Scott already been picked.
Has he?
Yes.
What's in over there?
Oh God.
Keep going through the
Just
Arsenal
go,
defence. You might get to one of
uh,
them.
I'm going off this list. I'm gonna have to just go rogue and go for my own players in a minute. He's not giving me a big enough list here. We're gonna go Reece James then because he's on the list and I'll play it properly. And we love a bit of Reece James. 1%.
1%. Chris?
I'm going to need to look at his percentage. Harvey Barnes, and I'll tell you his percentage in a couple of seconds once I've found it.
4.4, I think, is he?
I think
4.4.
4.4 it is, yeah.
Yeah, I'm the sad guy who created a podcast about fantasy football, mate. So I remember these. I remember these percentages. That just proved my geekiness at that very moment in time.
No, you know what? I'm impressed by that.
I can't help myself. I'm
And
a
push you after my throne as well, aren't you? That's what it is.
well, I'm winning the differential league, Barry. Thank you very much. So, gonna try and take this one down. Guy.
Pau Torres,
Oh,
Villa, 0.8.
yes, I've been abused on this podcast for hoping Man United would score already, and I've been talked down, and now I completely agree that we're going to get
I,
beat.
I will be honest. For you and for my son-in-law, I nearly picked Harry Maguire just to make you feel,
Yes. Ah. I had him as a shot on target yesterday, and he just couldn't get his damn head to anything.
Well,
There
it's a big head to move around.
It really is. He's got great neck muscle, that guy, hasn't he? The egg.
Right, I'm doing a Scott. Has anyone picked Trossard?
No one has picked Trossard yet, which is
Okay,
a surprise.
Trossard at 3.9.
You've
And that's
used
what
up,
I'm all Arsenal out now.
yeah. You've got all three Arsenal. You've got Martinelli and Trossard as well as White. Judith, you've got a goalkeeper or a midfielder.
Yeah, thanks. Let's go for Alanga,
Oh, okay, nice. Okay,
10%.
bang on 10%. Elanga and Chris, goalkeeper or a striker.
Yeah, I've just realised that, and I need to use my under 1%. This is messing with me now.
Mm.
No, let's go for the goalkeeper, and we'll scrabble around for a striker in a minute. Goalkeeper Verbruggen, 2.5%.
Oh, you have absolutely gone for it. You've left yourself with an under one striker, Chris. I love it. It's
Huh.
Yeah, I
brilliant.
know.
This is what the
Uh,
draft's all about.
I might regret this. There's a bit of a gamble behind it, but we'll come to it when you come
Oh,
back
I know
round to
who's
me.
picking. I know who's picking.
Oh, well, we've got we've all got strikers left except for Judith, who's got a goalkeeper. So where are you going to go, Guy?
We are going. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Solanke,
Solanke. Brilliant. What's his ownership, roughly?
4.6.
4.6. That's it. Phil, striker, who's it going to be? You've got
He's going for Fulkrug. He's going for Scott's differential of the season. 0.8% owned Fulkrug.
0.8%.
Oh.
Full Krug. Goalkeeper, Verbruggen, Areola, and Kepper are the ones that have gone. And you need
Okay.
to use your under one. No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No,
No, I
'cause James is
don't,
under one.
Alex.
James
Come
is under one. No,
on.
James is bang on 1%, to be fair. So, yes, of course.
You relax. Go for. Yeah. Let's go for Leno then. Why not?
Everyone has to at some point, don't they? It's differential draft.
Yep.
And we've got the other under one striker who's left.
I'm hoping that the main striker at his club will be injured, as there's massive doubts.
Yes.
So
Callum.
I'm hoping it's minutes or at least 20 minutes off the bench. Callum Wilson at
Um,
0.2%.
yes.
I know that could horrendously backfire if Isak is fit and plays the full 90,
Hmm.
but
I still,
Worth a gamble, I think.
Joe, I think with his
Chris, I'm with you. Yeah.
I think with his knock though, I don't think he'll play the full 90. I think Wilson will get minutes anyway, either way. I think so.
it's
I
kind of my gamble.
I don't mind that shout. So, Guy, do you want to read out your team to us?
All right. Kepa in goal. Pau Torres in defense. Gibbs White and Suchek in the midfield. And Big Dom Solanke up front. Hope that trophy doesn't weigh him down as he gets tired rushing down like he did the other day and just let one go in the box.
What a guy! What a chap! It was my signing of the season prediction, Solanke. So didn't really work out for me that, but still, he still won something, hasn't he? More than Arsenal, eh? Oh, sorry, Arteta won his second place trophy. So, Phil,
He's got Areola in goal. He's got Ben White in defence, Trossard and Martinelli in midfield, and he's got Fulkrug as the gamble up front.
great stuff. Over to you, Judith.
Leno, Reece James, Alanga, Schade, and Evan Nielsen. And I think that's the best team so far.
And over, and over to you, Chris.
I think I haven't actually written down who I've picked, so correct me if I'm wrong. Uh,
I've got him.
Verbruggen in goal, Kibio at the back, midfield of Semenyo and Barnes,
Yep,
and Callum Wilson up top.
nailed it.
Good.
Absolutely brilliant. So we've got all of that sorted out. We've done our roundup of all of the players for the season. So I'm going to keep you two on for our final part of the podcast that we're going to do because I think that's enough differential draft, lads. I think we'll do ours offline before. I want to have a look at captains for this week and who you guys are looking at potentially putting the armband on. So I'll come to you first, Chris. Well,
Yeah.
I swear.
My armband has been on since about Tuesday morning,
Mhm.
which when I did this, I realised he hadn't played on Tuesday night and could potentially get injured, but it's on Evan Nilsson.
Evan Nilsson going for
I
that.
mean,
Is
well,
that
they're playing Leicester, who, can't keep anyone from scoring goals. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like it's either bound to work or it's bound to guarantee him a blank.
yeah, absolutely. And obviously Baz is just hoping Jefferson plays instead, just because the differential might start who knows? Any other considerations for captaincy for you this week? Any other players in your team you're thinking about maybe going for? Who's your vice on, for an example?
So my advice is on Milos Kerkez.
Hmm.
I did contemplate Jared Bowen,
Okay. Yeah, I like that as a pick.
but ultimately Bournemouth at home rather than West Ham away. Home game swung it.
Yeah. Guy, your captain's armband?
My captain's armband is on Salah, not for the laziness of always picking, the Egyptian king, but he's so close to goal involvement and getting things, and he has been dormant. He has been on the beach, no different than he was a couple of years ago when Egypt got eliminated from World Cup. He was done. You just wrote him off for the last 8 weeks of the season. So I've got it on Salah, but my vice is on Murphy against Everton.
Okay. Wow. We've had a conversation on the podcast about whether to sell him or keep him. But he has been he's got 3 assists in his last 5, I think it was.
Right.
And obviously he's got a fantastic fixture against Everton at home, and they've got something to play for. So yeah, interesting shot. Scott, talk to me. Where's your armband?
Yeah. I have to agree with our friend from across the pond. I think Salah is just, I don't know, we think he's going for a massive drought. It's only been 3 games, which I think for Salah probably is a massive drought. But I just feel like last game, like I've said this earlier on the pod, like Liverpool crowning the season off at home to a Palace team that you'd think have been, getting drunk for a week, even though they played all right midweek. It just feels like, and he's still going for that. I think Guy touched on it. He's going for that goal and assist, like all-time Premier League record. It just feels like he's going to get at least 1 goal, which could be. And I think going Salah captain, it's not one of those weeks where everyone's going to go Salah captain. So yeah, and my vice is on Bowen just because in an awful West Ham team, he just seems to score.
Yeah, he's the only player to really to stick out, isn't he? Barry.
So my captain is on. I can't really remember. And I was going to look, and then I got sidetracked.
What were you doing?
I texting Philly's team. He says, "Oh, I've pulled up now." I says, "It's too late. We finished it." So yeah, turned up too late. A bit like Man United probably still playing now at Bilbao, aren't they? So we've got Saka actually, strangely enough, and then yeah, got Saka.
He's been on good form, hasn't he? To be fair.
Yeah, he's in great form, but like the season, might as well just punt it.
You may as well finish the season now. It's gone, haven't you? Horrendously.
Did he play though?
Yeah.
Well,
that's the risk. I was trying to get Moreno out and try and upgrade to Bowen, but I'm 0.2% million out, 0.2 million out. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare on that because I would have captained him. But yeah, it's a tricky one. I might even go for Watkins maybe against Man U.
Yeah, he's who my armband's on Watkins at the moment, and it's difficult because in my team, if Isak's fit, I've got, and this is no sick brag about my team in 20th in the podcast league, but I've got Isak in there as well against Everton, Saka against Southampton, who are obviously both not in the best form in the world but have really good fixtures, and then I've got Salah and Watkins. So I'm sat here. And for anyone that cares, I've got my bench boost to play this week. I just didn't find a week to play it. So I've got my bench boost left to play. So I'm really hoping for at least I get a green arrow in the last week of the season with Dara O'Shea and Aaron Cresswell on my bench. Playing each other 0-0 draw.
0-0, don't you?
I'm hoping for a 0-0. Well, I've got Areola as well, so I'm really hoping for Ipswich 0, West Ham 0 for my bench boost. What an absolutely awful thing to do. I might just
never any goals on the final day either, mate. So you've definitely coming in.
I nearly ran a 2-1-1 because I agree with you, Scott. I think it's going to be the dullest, most somnambulistic week we've ever had. Just go to sleep somewhere halfway through the match.
Just Liverpool Crystal Palace be like 8-7 or something. They're absolutely hammered and they're just sweating Sambuca as they run up and down the pitch. I feel like it stinks in Anfield. Anyway, so there you go. That's not a dig at Anfield as a United fan, by the way.
I'm going to say
that wasn't what I meant. Please.
the cars are on bricks and stuff like that as well. Why don't you throw that in there as well?
Don't come for me, Liverpool fans. I've had hard enough season and you've won another league, so that's not what we want. Right, have I forgotten anything, Baz?
No, I think we've done everything.
Just wanted to show this graphic first again. Fingers crossed I actually win this at least this time. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us. I wish you all green arrows all round going into the last game week of the season. We will be back for our end of season wrap up, which is my favourite podcast to do of the season. It's number one ahead of the first one we do of the season. Not that I dislike all the ones in between, but I really like the end of season wrap up and the excitement of game week one before it all goes wrong. Those are my that's my favorite podcasts to do of the season. So thanks everyone for joining us. Don't forget to like the video on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. You're letting us down. Subscribe. Give us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast from, and also click the little bell icon so you will get a notification when we put up a new podcast. And follow us on our social media platforms. All in Football Pod, All in Football P on Twitter, Instagram, and I promise I will do a TikTok at some point, and follow the Facebook FPL Affairs group for Barry. Guys, I won't do the round screen goodbyes because that's everyone saying goodbye. So for everyone, give us a wave, and it's goodbye from all of us, and good luck this week.